I think I started to piece things together when I came across a Medicaid card. And it said that I was born in 1991 and not 1995 like she had claimed and told me. So I was actually 19 at the time, not 15.
What's up, everyone? Carolina Girl here. Welcome back to my channel. It's Monday, April 20th, 2026. Happy 420 to those that partake. Puff, puff, pass. I hope everyone had a great weekend. It was 91 degrees here on Saturday, and then the temperature dropped to 63 degrees yesterday like it saw a state trooper. Today it got back up to 73, but my grass is so crunchy, it's not even funny. We haven't had any rain here in a couple of weeks, and it's looking like a couple more weeks before we get any. I wish it would rain, though, because I love rainy days. Anyway, that's enough about the South's weather. Let's get into some Gypsy Rose. I'm coming to you tonight because I want to talk about Gypsy lying about having birthday parties and birthday cakes. Now, this isn't new news. I've covered this before, and I think some others have probably covered it as well. But I felt like this story needed its own video. Now, in this first clip that I'm going to play for you, it's from Mommy Dead and Dearest, and it's of Gypsy's attorney, Mike Stanfield, stating Gypsy didn't know how old she was. And it's going to be a quick clip, but I just wanted you to see, this is what he had to say.
Not even aware of what her actual age was.
And so this is an excerpt from her book, My Time to Stand. And it's from chapter 5, page 42, where she is talking about finding her Medicaid card and learning she was 19. Now, this would have been in 2011, according to Gypsy. And so she said she disconnected our doorbell and made sure all of the windows had black trash bags over them. Equally weird was when I found my Medicaid card, which revealed my actual birth year of 1991. I was living a life in which I thought I was 4 years younger than I was. She told me it was a typo. So she's, stating here that she found her Medicaid card and that her actual birth date was, her birth year was 1991. And so here is another excerpt from her book, My Time to Stand. It's from chapter 8. And this, the Medicaid card, let me back up for a second. The Medicaid card story, it's also the same story that you saw in my intro, and that was from Gypsy's Revenge. And then it's going to also be in my outro when we are done here this evening. And it's an interview that she did with Dr. Phil, and she gives him the same story about the Medicaid card. And so this is an excerpt from her book, My Time to Stand, chapter 8, pages 57 and 58. And this is a note that she supposedly wrote to Dee Dee when she ran away in 2011. And it says, "Dear Mother, I know I can walk. I don't think I have cancer. I don't feel sick. I know that I'm really 19. I want to live my own life as an independent woman. I love you. It's just time for me to spread my wings and fly. I'm going up to St. Louis. I love you, your grown-up daughter." And so here she states she knows she's 19. And like I said, this is when she was running away to be with Dan. And this is the note that she supposedly left Dee Dee. And so my question is to Mike Stanfield. Now, you stated in Mommy Dead and Dearest that Gypsy wasn't aware of how old she was. But it seems like in every interview she gave after that, she was well aware of how old she was. So my question to you is, did you know that she knew how old she was and you just lied for her? Or did she lie to you too? My guess is she lied to you too, because when she gave her interview for Mommy Dead and Dearest, as soon as she sat down in the chair, she told the woman, I'm assuming it was the producer of Mommy Dead and Dearest, that she hadn't even been honest with her attorneys. And she had just taken her plea deal. She accepted her plea deal at that time. And then she sits down and gives that interview for national television saying that she hadn't even been honest with you. And then she's got you up here saying she wasn't aware of how old she was. According to her, she was aware. And I'd like to point out that we never heard that Dee Dee wouldn't let her have birthday cakes or parties until she was released from prison. I went back and watched all of her documentaries, and she never says anything about not having candles on her cakes or not having birthday cakes or not having birthday parties. She only talked about finding her Medicaid card and learning her real age. So in this clip that I'm going to play you, it's of an interview that Gypsy and Ryan did with Talk is Jericho.
Keeping my own age from me.
That's crazy, yeah.
You know, because when I was little, growing up, we didn't use the numbered candles. Like, that was not a thing in my home.
Okay, right.
So when it came around that it was my birthday, she would wish me happy birthday, but she wouldn't tell me how old I was. And then if I'd overhear it, I would confront her. I would ask her, I'm like, Mom, I thought that I was turning 13, today.
So she claims here that her mom wouldn't use, numbered candles or regular candles even on her cake. And I just wanted to show you my background real quick, so you can see my background. AI actually did that. All I said was make a backdrop of, entitled Gypsy Rose birthday cakes and parties or not. And it made that. And then I asked for it to make a slight change for me. And then it told me it couldn't because the safety filters or whatever picked up. And so it couldn't generate the image or something like that. So I went ahead and I kept this image and I decided to use it for my backdrop. And so this next clip that I want to play for you is of Gypsy and Ryan interviewing with Melissa Moore. And Gypsy claims that at age 8 is when Dee Dee started withholding her age from her.
People realized they didn't understand that you didn't have a relationship with your dad at that point. But I remember asking you, how did you not know your age? How did your mom hide your age from you? And I remember you telling me that she never put the right number of candles on your cake. Remind me of that.
Yeah,
she hid your age from you.
Yeah, so it was happening. It probably started happening when I was about 8 years old. And so I didn't ask questions as an 8-year-old. But it continued on until, the crime happened. And so I get that question a lot, actually, like, how did you not know your age? And growing up, for birthday parties and for, gatherings, my mom never put numbered candles on my cake.
And so it's so funny. Here is a picture of Gypsy in front of a birthday cake. Blowing out a candle, and the candle appears to be a number 8 candle. It's either, with that shape, it's either a 3 or an 8. And she definitely looks like she's older than 3 there. So I'm going to go with 8. And it surely looks like she's blowing out the candle and making a wish to me. I don't know about you guys. What do you think? Does it look like she's blowing out that candle and making a wish? It says happy birthday. And it looks like it says happy birthday, Gypsy Rose, to me. And so we got to make a note of that. Please make a note of that. And it's very important that you make a note that she's blowing out the candle here. And it looks like she's making a wish by the way she's got her hands. And the birthday cake does say happy birthday, Gypsy Rose. I mean, that is important, believe it or not. And so this next picture is of Gypsy in front of a birthday cake blowing out candles. Now it appears that there's about 10 or 11 candles on that cake. I can't really tell. looks like 10. It could be 11, maybe 12. I'm not quite sure because it gets a little fuzzy right there coming, towards this left-hand bottom corner. Kind of gets fuzzy, but it looks like there could possibly be maybe 11 or 12 candles. I don't know. We're going to say anywhere from 10 to 12 candles on that cake. And it looks like she's blowing those candles out too, doesn't it? And so this last picture that I'm going to show you is of Gypsy. And I'm not quite sure how old she is there, but she looks like she could be maybe 12 or 13. And I don't see, it says, definitely says happy birthday. And she looks like she's, looking at the cake. Looks like she either just blew out the candle. I'm assuming that big oval looking thing, like the pink with the pink back, it looks like a purple outline and a pink backing. I'm assuming that must have been like a candle or something. I don't see anything that looks like a candle per se on the cake, but that woman that's standing there to the right of her has a cigarette lighter in her hand, and she looks like she's either stepping in to light the candle or she had already lit the candle and stepped away. And Gypsy looks like she definitely, was blowing out the candle. And so I first used all of this information in the very first video I did on my channel. It was called Justice for Dee Dee, Gypsy Rose Exposed. And it was an hour and 45 minutes long. It was my intention to have like a one and done video. I wanted to put everything in this one video for everybody. I wanted people just to kind of go down and go bam, 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 right down the line and see all of her lies and discrepancies in like one video. But then, things just really need to kind of be talked about in depth more. And so that's what I've kind of been doing. I've been breaking it down and making shorter videos on specific topics or what have you. And that's why I feel like this particular topic needed its own video. And the interesting thing was, when I made my video, that was back in August of 2025. That's when I made my first video, August of 2025. And I believe Gypsy watched that video because shortly after she went on Breeze Live, and it was like for about a week straight, if I'm not mistaken, or at least a couple nights back to back, she went on Breeze Lives addressing everything that was in my video: medical malpractice, birthday cakes, Barbie dolls, the microdeletion, her book, and the fact that she never told Nick anything about abuse. She addressed all of that. And I've got clips of all that. So this is a clip of Breeze Live where Gypsy is discussing the birthday cakes, candles, and parties. And this is from about September or October of 2025.
Shit like that.
Yeah, birthday candles. Like, haven't they given to think that the birthday parties that I had, I feel like was for other people? If they had candles on the birthday cake, it wasn't because my mom said, hey, you are this old. It was because, hey, we're having a party where a lot of people are going to be invited. And, at an age, that stopped. So, like, I really didn't have numbers on my candles after, like, 13.
And so, can you guys believe she thinks we're all stupid? Did you guys just hear what she said? She's trying to tell us that she had no clue those were her birthday cakes or parties. I mean, she's blowing out the candles on the cakes. The cake says Gypsy, happy birthday, Gypsy Rose on it. I mean, this is one of the, like I said, every time I turn around, this girl is lying. And then when she gets called out on her lies, she tries to do damage control, and she does more damage than anything, And I don't know. I mean, it's just the dumbest story I've ever heard. And she would have been better off not saying anything. But Gypsy just can't help herself. I mean, she wonders why people are upset with her, why nobody believes her. Well, hello. You're a liar. That's why. I mean, those that may be new to this case or those that are on the fence, this is really something stupid and petty to lie about. And I want you guys to ask yourselves, if she's willing to lie about birthday cakes and candles, do you think she would lie about why she murdered her mom? I mean, if you've observed her behavior since she's been out of prison, when she does wrong, it's never her fault. She always responds with, I'm still growing and learning and blah, 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 blah. And there's nothing about her. She's not still learning and growing. She's doing whatever the hell she wants to do. And when she gets called out on her behavior, she resorts back to that, oh, I'm still learning and growing. Girl, you went to prison for 8.5 years and you've been out for 2. And, if you didn't do a lot of growing up and learning in prison, what the hell did you do for 8.5 years? Because I know they didn't coddle you in there. I get sick and tired of hearing, it doesn't matter. She isn't going back to prison. I know she's not going back to prison. What matters is the fact the girl's a liar. She dehumanizes her mom every chance she gets. And this is something minor to lie about, but it makes her mom look deceiving and cruel. Now, I've always believed that Gypsy knew how old she was. She was 14 years old when Hurricane Katrina struck in 2005. And by the time they were medevac to Missouri, like I said, she was 14. And so if Dee Dee was able to convince Gypsy at 14 that she really wasn't 14 and she was younger, then maybe Gypsy is mentally disabled like Dee Dee claimed. And I'm not saying that to be mean, but I have a friend with a child that's 7 years old turning 8. And she told her daughter, just to see what she would say, that she was turning 5. And my friend said that her daughter just looked at her at first and kind of, had a funny look on her face and was, like, what, what? And my friend was like, yeah, you're going to be 5 on your birthday. Are you excited? And her daughter was like, no, I'm going to be 8. And my friend was like, no, you're going to be 5. And her daughter was like, no, I'm going to be 10. And so obviously my friend's daughter knew that she wasn't going to be 5 on her next birthday. And she knew that birthday had already come and gone. And so I believe Gypsy knew how old she was. She just thinks we're all stupid. I mean, there are some out there that have bought her story, but most of us see right through her. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. I've always looked forward to hearing from you. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you because without you, I wouldn't have a channel. If you happen to be new to my channel and like the content and haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. It's a free way to support my channel. I do have another video that I'm working on in store this week, and I hope to be publishing it sometime. So I hope you guys have a great week ahead. And until the next time, I am out of here.
Pretty soon, I found a couple of bits of paper in my mom's safe, things that stated that I was born in 1991. Made me question my real age. I asked her about it. She said that it was a typo. I had taken those papers and the Medicaid card that I found, and I ran away from home. Didn't get very far because she...